Good morning. This is Pastor Zach with the Goodland United Methodist Church with your morning devotion for Wednesday, November 29th. Today I'll be reading from 1 Chronicles, selections from the 28th chapter. David assembled at Jerusalem all the officials of Israel, the officials of the tribes, the officers of the divisions that served the king, the commanders of the thousands, the commanders of the hundreds, the stewards of all the property and cattle of the king and his sons, together with the palace officials, the mighty warriors, and all the warriors. The King David rose to his feet and said, "Hear me, my brothers and my people. I had planned to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of the Lord, for the footstool of our God, and I made preparations for building. But God said to me, 'You shall not build a house for my name, for you are a warrior and have shed blood.' Yet the Lord God of Israel chose me from all my ancestral house to be king over Israel forever. For he chose Judah as leader, and in the house of Judah my father's house, and among my father's sons he took delight in making me king over Israel. And for all my sons the Lord has given me. He has chosen my son Solomon to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of the Lord of Israel. He said to me, 'It is your son Solomon who shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be a son to me, and I will be a father to him. I will establish his kingdom forever if he continues resolute in keeping my commandments and my ordinances as he is today.' Then David gave his son Solomon the plan of the vestibule of the temple, and of its houses, its treasuries, its upper rooms, its inner chambers, and the room of the mercy seat, and the plan of all that he had in mind for the courts of the house of the Lord, all the surrounding chambers, the treasuries of the house of the God, and the treasuries of the dedicated gifts. All this, in writing at the Lord's direction, he made clear to me the plan of all the works. And David said further to his son Solomon, 'Be strong and of good courage, and act. Do not be afraid or dismayed. The Lord God, my God, is with you. He will not fail you or forsake you, until all the work of the service of the house of the Lord is finished.'" First time I came across this verse in a setting where I looked at it more closely was when I was teaching Vacation Bible School in high school. This was one of the memory verses, 28:20, that the children learned to beat and a rap. But it always stuck with me, the idea of do not be afraid or dismayed, for the Lord God, my God, is with you. He will not fail you or forsake you until your service to the house of the Lord is finished. Two things that come out in this 28th chapter of 1 Chronicles is, one, we may think that we are called to do things, but God will give us a sign that we may not be called to do certain tasks, that we are to set the place for others to step in and take over. That maybe we may have great ambitions, but they're not God's ambitions and not God's timing. But we can set a place for people to follow us, to take over and finish what God would have done. At the same time, we are there to help encourage and remind those who would follow us that God is faithful and God will not forsake them, that they may be taking a risk and following up and taking over a task or a mission or a ministry, but God will be with them and God will make sure that they are successful, that they will be guided throughout the whole process until their service is finished. May you have a blessed day.